Hello, guys. My name is Milan. I'm a physiotherapist at Pain Free Health Clinics, and today we're going to be discussing training for longevity, the science of strength and muscle, the importance of strength and muscle as you get older. So, why muscle matters for longevity? Muscle is the largest organ system, and it's vital for metabolic health, glucose regulation, protection against chronic disease. Muscle mass and strength are top predictors of lifespan. Stronger people live longer. Strength reduces falls risk, improves mobility, and supports independence. And your muscle is a big storage of glucose, meaning that when that glucose is sitting in the blood, it gets absorbed. A lot of it gets absorbed into the muscle, which is why it's also so important to prevention of diabetes and other things. And it's also, as a result of that, very important in metabolic health. And once again, the more muscle you have, the higher your basal metabolic rate is. Therefore, you're going to be able to burn more of calories and more energy at rest because that muscle needs more energy to be able to sustain itself. Strength versus cardio versus size. Strength is more important than the muscle size for functionality and aging. Cardio improves VO2 max, but strength enhances joint integrity, bone density, explosive movement capacity, and these fast twitch fibers, which are key for preventing falls and maintaining power. And unfortunately, as you get older, you lose more of these guys and you end up with the slow twitch fibers, which there's a difference. For example, a marathon runner has a lot more slow twitch fibers, whereas a sprinter has more fast twitch fibers. And as you get older, a lot of these guys end up converting into slow twitch fibers. So, aging and muscle fiber changes. Slow twitch fibers, type 1 fibers, last longer with age, whereas fast twitch fibers shrink or die off without use. So if you're not using these fast twitch fibers, for example, sprinting or moving quick, they end up turning into, a lot of them end up turning into slow twitch fibers. Denervation, so that means the nerve input into these fibers leads to fiber type grouping. Slow twitch fibers absorb the fast twitch fibers. And as a result of that, as we age, there's less power, not just less muscle size. And this is a very important aspect. There's a good example here where there's a twin study done. So identical genetics, divergent training. One twin focused solely on endurance training, long distance running, while the other remained largely sedentary. Here were their composition results. The endurance-focused twin had larger muscle volume and greater cardiovascular capacity. However, they exhibited lower muscle strength and explosive power compared to the sedentary twin, who had preserved the strength better despite lower training volume. The key takeaways here is that cardio does not equal strength. This demonstrates that cardio alone is insufficient for maintaining muscle function. So without resistance or power training, muscle volume gains do not translate into well-preserved strength or functional capacity. Some of the real-world implications include, for healthy aging, preserving strength and power is essential as you get older. And that is why incorporating resistance training, even with a modest frequency, remains a non-negotiable for independence, mobility, and quality of life as you get older. How training affects muscle fibers. Muscle fibers adapt to training. Endurance athletes have 90 to 95% type 1 slow twitch fibers. Power athletes have 60 to 70% type 2 fibers. Detrained individuals can regain type 2 fibers when they resume strength and power training, even in later in life. So this is why this is very important. So even as an individual is older, it is important for them to do that strength training and do that power training. Fiber type plasticity means your body rewires itself based on your exercise habits. So your body is what kind of stresses and demands you put on your body. It adapts to that new level. And this is why we encourage even older adults to participate in strengthening exercises, in resistance exercises, because their strength and their power is very, very important as they get older. Cardio promotes slow twitch efficiency and endurance, whereas resistance training and power training sustains fast twitch fibers essential for strength, power, and fall prevention. To preserve both health and performance, incorporate training across speed and strength continuum. So it's very important in addition to I get a lot of patients coming in, they're saying, hey, I do walking every day. And well, walking is sort of like more of a cardio rather than, so what you got to do is you have to 2 to 3 times a week, even 4 times a week, try and incorporate some of this resistance and power training. So here what I've done is kind of laid out a beginner phase, 0 to 6 months. So first 6 months, the goal is to build movement literacy, improve neuromuscular coordination, and establish consistency. Focus on learning proper form, building mind-muscle connection, and starting with a low skill, full body compound movements. So first 4 weeks, 2 times a week, full body sessions. And then from weeks 5 to 12, 3 times a week for body or upper and lower body split. Here are some exercises that I would suggest. Goblet squats, rowing with a band at home, wall push-ups are great, dead bug or bird dog, body weight glute bridges, step-ups, farmer carries, these are excellent, overhead presses with a band, marching in one place with light weights, and all of these are doable at home. So beginner phase, 0 to 6 months, 2 times a week, you can bang these guys out in 30 minutes. Intermediate phase, so this is 6 to 12 months. You want to try and work at this, after that 6 month period, you want to try to really work on increasing that strength, power, and muscular hypertrophy. Begin by training more intentionally across different movement qualities. Strength development, increase resistance in compound lifts, so you want to add more weight. Hypertrophy, muscle growth, add volume, so 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps for key muscle groups. Power development, begin low skill explosive work such as box jumps, med ball slams. And in your 40s and 50s, these are some of the things that you need to be doing in order for you to be doing well when you're 70 and 80. Very essential, and all this stuff all this just compounds and builds. And even if you do a little bit in your 40s and 50s, it's going to show when you get to your 60s, 70s, and 80s. Isometrics, add tempo holds at the end of ranges to build joint control and tendon strength. These are some of the exercises that I've suggested: trap bar deadlifts, barbell and goblet squats, pull-ups, assisted pull-ups, dumbbell bench press, walking lunges, seated row, medicine ball slams, box jumps, wall sits with heel raises, plank with shoulder taps. And as we get into advanced training structure, you want to optimize your strength, power, resilience through structured training blocks, ideal for long-term health span and performance. So at the end of the day, these are non-negotiables, meaning that if you really want to, live a good long life, which is here at Pain Free Health, that's kind of what our goal is. You want to have that good quality of life. We need to get you into some sort of a training routine. And this training routine consists of warm-up, 10 to 15 minutes. Power speed component, low fatigue explosive exercises, medicine ball throws, jump squats, push presses, main strength work. So these are compound lifts with progressive overload, barbell split squats, weighted pull-ups, trap bar deadlifts. And then you want to get into accessory work, targeting weak links, joint health, and hypertrophy. So basically these are single leg glute bridges. Let's say your left side's a little bit weaker than your right side. That's when you want to try and target that. Conditioning, loaded carries, sled pushes, short interval cardio, farmers carries, assault bike intervals. So these are things that you're gonna build that speed and that strength. And then at the end of it, you want to cool down and recovery. And once again, a lot of this stuff can be done within 45 to 60 minutes. So here's basically the training strategy: periodization pyramid. Base is stability and hypertrophy. foundational work. Middle is max strength and joint control, functional loading. And top is power, speed, and performance, age resistant gains. So this is basically how that pyramid should look like. Another aspect that I wanted to touch on is stretching under load and hypertrophy. Recent research has shown that loaded stretching, putting muscle under tension in a lengthened position, may be one of the most powerful drivers of hypertrophy, especially for all older adults that are aiming to retrain and build muscle mass. So mechanical tensions maximize when muscles both contracting and lengthened. Training at a long muscle length triggers greater cellular swelling, mechanical damage, and mTOR signaling. All key are for growth, or all of these are key aspects of growth. Mechanical tension, heavy loads over a full range of motion, micro tears from eccentric or stretch loaded work, and metabolic stress, high reps, short rest, and deep burn. These are all the different aspects. So here are some exercises of this stretch mediated hypertrophy. Bulgarian split squats, because you can get into a deep hip stretch under load. A deep lunge with overhead dumbbell hold adds core and shoulder stability. Paused Romanian deadlifts, hamstring under long tension. Seated calf raise, full stretch at the bottom, trains the soleus and deep calf. Incline dumbbell chest press, overhead triceps extension, and cable lateral raises behind the body. So these are all of examples where you're really stretching that muscle while you're loading it at the same time. And the key, what we got to do, and that's where here at Pain Free Health, we are dedicated to making sure that our patients are able to avoid the injury while preserving function. So they're able to kind of get ahead while avoiding that injury and those setbacks that do not allow them to get back to function. As we age, the risk of falls, joint degradation, loss of independence increases. Preserving function isn't just about strength, it's about mobility, balance, posture, and neuromuscular control. These are the focus area that we can prevent injury. Balance training, postural control, joint stability and mobility, and triple extension mechanics. So meaning that hip, knee, and ankle, we're working on their ability to be able to extend, because this is where the power output comes from. And these are some of the recommended exercises for balance retraining, for these types of things that we're looking to basically preserve function. Sit the stands, we're looking at heel toe walk, single leg balance drills, those are great. Farmer carries for postural and grip strength, step ups with knee drive, hip thrusts, overhead carries. The problem here is that sarcopenia is a real thing, meaning that muscle mass naturally declines 1% per year after the age of 30, and strength declines faster than mass. It's up to 3% per year after the age of 60. And then this leads to loss of mobility, poor balance, and high risk of falls, and decreased independence and quality of life. The key strategies to counteract that loss is resistance training is the best tool for combating sarcopenia, meaning muscle loss. Focus on compound movements and progressive overload. As you get older, don't be scared to overload your muscles. Don't be scared to have some of that soreness afterwards. It's a good thing. And this goes for anyone anywhere from 20 to 90 years old, 20 to 100 years old. Consistency over intensity. This is what it means. So doing something consistently, 2 to 4 strength sessions a week, are more effective in the long term than sporadic heavy workouts. Meaning you want to do something consistently. It doesn't have to be overly taxing, but if we do it consistently year in and year out, it will show, it will compound. Just like the money in your bank account compounds over time, same thing with these health benefits. Prioritize functional movements, exercises that mimic everyday actions. Squats, stair climbs, farmer's carries. So farmer carries are great because of the fact that they mimic your ability to carry your suitcase. When you are during those golden years at 65, when we're able to travel and do things, Well, guess what? If you're not able to carry your suitcase, you're gonna have issues traveling. Use what you have: resistance band, body weight, household items, all effective tools when used correctly. Lifestyle support: try to get good sleep. Very, very important. Nutrition: try to have that protein intake. Uh, Distribute protein across meals and add leucine rich sources: whey, eggs, and meat. Hydration: make sure you get your daily target of 2 to 3 liters and more if training heavily. Supplements: creatine has shown to be effective. It improves power, brain health, and muscle mass. And this is something you want to consult with your doctor as well. Vitamin D is great, omegas, and magnesium. So these are some of the things that you can add in order to improve your recovery after training. And most of this was taken away from Dr. Peter Attia. He's a very well-known longevity doctor, and he says muscle is medicine. Strength is your insurance policy for aging well. 3 pillars for longevity: strength, power, function. But without strength and power, you really don't have much function, especially as you get older. Final notes: it's never too late to start. Benefits are seen at any age. Strength is the strongest predictor of long term independence, and invest in movement like you would in your own savings accounts. And if you guys have any other questions, please let us know. And if you would like to have a free summary of this presentation, please click below or email us at info@painfreehealth.ca, and we'd be able to provide you with that information.